Back section pack. Inside your pack, first of all, you've got your sill section. You'll have two of the long glazing bars. These are the inner glazing bars. We have the two small outer glazing bars, the cross brace, and finally the end brace. There's two of these, one goes on either side. The second pack you'll require to assemble the back section will be the corner pack. The corner pack consists of 4 parts, 2 roof sections. These are denoted by their length, the number of holes they have down each section, and also you'll note on one end there's a T. There should be a pair of these. Secondly, we have a pair of leg sections. These have an angle on one end only, the other end is squared off. There is only one hole at the top. And these again, you should have a pair. The first stage of the assembly is we've gone ahead and pre-installed the bolts, the same as we did on the gutter section of the side. We put them in. Note the orientation of the bolt, its direction it comes through. This is the side that you will be mounting your glazing bars on. And if you look, we've installed them all the way along the sill section, with the exception of 2 holes. The third hole in from each end does not receive a bolt. We leave the bolt out. The final parts you will need before assembly will be the leg brackets and the ridge brackets. These are shown as so. There are 3 different types. This one is marked ridge back. This one is marked ridge front. Now the difference between the two, you'll note, is there's an extra hole in the one in the front compared with the one in the back. This is used for the centre glazing bar above the door. Next we have the leg. The leg brackets are marked, come to you marked. The angle between them and the ridge brackets is different. The ridge bracket has a greater angle than what you see on the leg bracket down the back there. Main assembly, what we've done is we've gone ahead and we've laid out our parts on the floor, as you can see, with the exception of the cross brace that goes across the centre of the unit. We're now going to begin by connecting our corner bar and our T-bars to the bottom sill section. Start by taking our corner sections connected to our T-bar, corner, so, pushing it down. On the first glazing bar, the outside glazing bar, we pre-assembled that nut by putting it into place and just dropping our glazing bar onto it. All we have to do with this one is we remove the nut again from the top. And we install our first side brace. Now the brace note is assembled onto the unit. Remember the orientation of the brace. The inside should face towards the outside, the same as it did on the sidewall. As you can see, we've gone ahead now and we've installed all of our glazing bars into the bottom sill. We now move on up to the top corner. Note the corner brace on the far side. Again, we've installed it on the last of the glazing bars, and the inside of the brace also faces towards the outside. You'll see this better in a later picture. Before starting the assembly of the roof corner section to the glazing bars, we need first of all to insert some T-bolts into the slots in the glazing bars. You'll note that on the outside glazing bar we need to put 2 T-bolts into the slot. The first T-bolt will be used for the cross brace, and the second T-bolt will be used to attach the glazing bar to the top corner section. On the 2 inner glazing bars we install 3 T-bolts. The first T-bolt is the one that will connect again the top corner bar to the glazing bar. The second one will be used for connection of the fan bracket, which we'll show at a later time, if this comes with your kit. The third T-bolt will be used for the cross brace. Now if your unit comes without the fan, you will only install 2 T-bolts into these slots, the same as you did on the 2 outside. Now we're going to go ahead and do the connection between the leg corner section and the roof corner section. First thing we need to do is preliminary, is we start by putting in T-bolts. We want to put 2 T-bolts in the roof section in the horizontal slot, as so, and we want to place 1 into the vertical slot on the side. On the leg section, we'll place 1 T-bolt into the horizontal slot and 1 T-bolt into the vertical slot. Now once we have these bolts in place, we line our leg and our roof section up approximately in position, and we'll install the leg corner bracket in place like so. We'll place a nut on the top one, on the roof section, bring it down. Now before we place the nut on the bottom T-bolt, we want to install our brace, our side brace. That's installed there, nut on it. Go ahead, push our leg in so it looks square, and we'll just snug the bolts up. Now at this point we don't want to do the brace, this bolt up here that's holding the corner brace in position too tightly. We want to leave it fairly loose because we've got to put in the cross brace. Okay. With that done, we'll go ahead and put in our remaining 2 bolts over here. Snug those up. That completes this corner. We should have a bolt sitting in the side here and this one, and we should have our spare bolt up on the ridge section here. Now to stop these bolts getting lost or dropping out during the assembly and moving them around, we're going to put a nut on each one and just snug it up into position where it is, just until we need it. And we'll do the same on this leg here. And that completes this corner. We'll now repeat this procedure on the other side, remembering that the brace will also go on the lower hole on the other side. We'll then move on to the ridge section. Now before we start the installation of our bridge bracket, we need to make a note again. Firstly, that we put the 2 bolts into the bottom, and we put the 2 bolts into the 2 vertical slots. Next to that, the T that's marked onto your 2 corner ridge should be at the top at this point. Then we go with our bracket, the same as we did with the side, just install it straight over the top and bolt it up into position, which is what we'll go ahead and do. So this completes the last of our corner connections. As you can see, we now have all 3 corners completed. That's our first outside corner that we started on. This is the opposite corner. You can see again, note the position of the brace in the corner and the 2 bolts in the top slots on the vertical section. Now in the middle again, coming back to there, we're going to do one additional operation here. It's, if you bought the unit with the fan assembly, we're going to put a fan bracket into the top section. The fan brackets that would have come with your kit would be as such. They're a 1 inch, 1/8 angle. They've got 4 holes in them, and you'll install the first one. You'll have 2 like this. You'll install the first one by taking off the 2 nuts off your 2 inside glazing bars, and you place the first bracket over the top there and reinstall the nuts on top. Now the second bracket we'll install once we get the cross brace into position, which we'll do now. Now we've gone ahead, I've positioned and bolted down the centre brace, the cross brace. You'll note that the two remaining T-bolts from the corner slot in the horizontal slot has been moved up and used for the corner. Then as we move across the unit, you can see that the final bolt that was left in the outer glazing bars has been used. Now when you come to the two centre glazing bars, you'll note that we put the fan bracket on the top in an earlier section. Now we've used the second bolt, the lower bolt, to connect our cross brace. We should still have the one remaining bolt above the cross brace. That will be for the mounting of our second fan bracket, which we'll do in the next section. Now as we go across to the other inside, you'll see again we have the second loose bolt left in the glazing bar. And as we move right across to the other end, you should be able to see how we've positioned it. And you can see we've used again the remaining T-bolt from the horizontal slot from the corner to position the bracket. The final job is we're going to put the lower fan mounting bracket in place. We do this, it's the same as the top bracket. You'll note we have the 4 holes going through. We're going to turn it so that the side without no holes is going to be facing towards the top in a pose. And we drop that over those last 2 bolts in the bottom and just secure it in position. It doesn't want to be in any particular position at this time. Keep it down low out of the way, then it won't affect the installation of the fan when you come to put it through the hole in the glazing. We can move it up in position once assembly takes place. And we just nip that down. And that completes the assembly of the back at this time.